Nice brand new sunrise in our world of Create Astral. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back. We've done a few things in the last few episodes, trying to get a couple of things done. I've got some check marks and stuff, mainly because I had to do some things here. So last time we kind of completed this little node right here, at least mostly completed it, aside from we did not create an electric motor. I read that wrong a long ways ago, so I understand now why I thought this was backwards. We're going to lose 25% of the energy when we try to connect one of these things in, so the only way we'll probably ever use an electric motor is if I decide that I want to run an electric motor out there somewhere or a long ways away. We can just go ahead and run shafts to things and not lose the rotational energy that comes from things. However, we are going to need to be able to use these alternators to be able to produce power so that we can work on the next section of things, which is what we're going to kind of start working on today. I am going to try to possibly think about getting towards a rocket here in the next episode or two or three. We'll see how we've got to go. Mars is going to be the next big thing that we're going to be able to get a lot of more resources from. However, we're going to need to do several of these pathways through this quest book. So I've been in between episodes kind of cleaning up some things. This chapter was mainly just a this is what you should be thinking about doing chapter, and as I unlocked things, I just kind of, checked the box and picked things up. So, aside from anything in here, the only thing we haven't really touched are these little two lines right here. I think there's some more still hiding in here somewhere. I'm not 100% certain, but I kind of figure I've got most of them done. You can kind of tell if something's hiding if you click on the actual thing. You'll see a line head off of it somewhere. I can't remember if I've got like that one right there. There's quite possibly something else right here, but I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it'll probably show up once we unlock some other things. No big deal. We've also done a couple of other little things in here, just very little things. I've kind of just cleaned up and just done some of the check boxes, check marks, things, stuff like that to include that, which is a quick charge. These rifles, I killed a pillager over there, and he gave me his pretty much almost brand new rifle, so it's not terrible. That works perfectly fine. Essentially, what those are crossbows, just like everything else. Why am I so slow sitting down to pick things up? Go ahead, give me my thing back. Okay, cool. So we're kind of just goofing around at this point in time, and well, I've been kind of goofing around at this point in time, moving a few things around, building a few things in preparation for what we need to get done. So one of the first things I did in here is I started looking up at this chapter, and I haven't clicked any of the buttons yet, but I started looking up at this chapter because fuel is going to be a pain in the tail, and it's probably something that you want to start working on as soon as you get into this chapter if you want to be able to do any kind of superheating of blaze burners or be able to run your rocket to Mars. So we're going to start up here, and I'm going to look at the little quest book thingy here. And I guess exactly what it says. Rocket fuel is a difficult process, especially with technology you have available currently. Automating it will test your factory building skills, but the stars beckon you to discover the new age, blah, blah, blah. It's not that hard to do. It's just going to be annoying. And the reason why it's going to be annoying is because of the fact, and we can take a look at the process real quick, and we'll show it as what I've kind of started on. Fluid cell mechanics saying fluid things here. Biofuel is going to be rolling a biofuel cell over a drain to get the biofuel, which means we need to look at a biofuel cell. Biofuel cells are going to be solid canning machines with an empty cell and a pure biomatter. Pure biomatter is going to be biomass washed in front of a bulk washer system that will give us a pure biomatter and a possible sugar. Click on biomass. Well, it's going to have to be run through a Tech Reborn compressor. That is going to be a compressed plant ball that'll turn that in. Now we're needing 4 compressed plant balls here, okay? 4 compressed plant balls are a plant ball that have been run through another one of these 4 times, which means you just put 4 of those in a row. You don't circle them. You get it over with. The issue here is there's an 80% chance that's going to fail with a random salvage. Who knows what the salvage is going to be? You're going to have to sort that out, throw it away. So there's a possibility of a failure in here. The plant ball. Plant balls are going to be leaves or some type of grass, 9 of them, mixed with a half a bucket of seed oil. That's where the pain comes in, because neither of those are easily automatable. You can do it. There are ways to do it, but they're not exactly the simplest things in the world to work, because you're either going to have to cut down trees, but you're going to have to cut down trees with shears and deployers, or you're going to have to bone meal grass and then cut the grass with deployers using shears. Both a problem, because the fact one of these is going to need some bone meal. Like, actually, they'd probably both be better off trying to be done with bone meal, because you could at least grow the leaves reasonably quickly. So in order to do any of this, outside of the other fun thing is the seed oil is not impossible to do. Seed oil is just any seed smashed in a, another one of these, the mechanical presses, and you'll get 100 millibuckets of seed oil. This is where this kind of fun stuff kind of happens, because that seed oil is pretty simple, easy to get a hold of if you know what you're doing. So let's go check out the farms over here. I've kind of retrofitted them just slightly. I've not been for lack of a better idea, and yes, we have power running in here. I have not been farming these farms, and that has been my bad on the process, because I've not really been needing them. What I have been doing, or what I did do in between episodes, is I went ahead and set up a few harvesters to work on a few of our things. So should I ever need anything out of this, I need to actually fix these, but what we're doing now is I'm taking all of these rows of things that we've been growing, harvesting them with again, minecart. I don't even understand why you would use gantries. I don't get it. They're cool, the little gantry thing you runny dealies, but like, this requires no power. The only reason why there's power in here now is because I need to be able to run a belt, but like, this thing will run for as long as I want to, as long as it's in a loaded chunk. So I mean, I guess it's maybe because of a minecart and these are a pain in the tail. But anyhow, they run down there, they harvest everything, they pick everything up that they can harvest, they bring it back over to this portable storage interface, drop it on this belt, which is then being put into a chest, which is being put into a composter, which is now making us bone meal. In that process, I have decided, instead of doing what the general process would probably be, which is you're going to use the seeds for all of these things, I went with the one thing that makes a lot of seeds as long as you grow it. That is pumpkins. Pumpkins require a saw to cut down, not a harvester. So if you're having problems trying to get things to work, put down a saw on the front of your deal, and then that'll just kind of run. What this is doing is it's, again, collecting the pumpkins as they grow automatically. They get dumped into a chute that gets dumped into a single crafter into a, what are these crude storage units. And as you see right now, we've got 405 current seeds right there, plus some of the other things. Eventually what I will probably do is I will be sorting the seeds off of all of this area and placing them in their own little deal so that we can go. The seeds are not the problem. The seeds are absolutely not going to be the problem. The leaves are going to be the problem. So we're already at, like, say, 400 of those. So that's what, 40,000, 40 buckets of the stuff that we already need, or more than that, actually. So yeah, we've got plenty of that stuff. That's not the problem. Again, the problem is the bone meal and taking care of some of the other problems or processes. The other thing that I did notice while playing around is, if you want to auto harvest sugarcane, which is, this is the first time I've ever done this with Create, you need to stack your the harvesters too tall so that you collect all of the sugarcane coming in. Because if you just cut the one underneath of it, it drops the other one all over the place. So, and then of course, if you don't, it's been kind of finicky, but it does work. I spent a lot of time cussing this thing out last night because of the fact that I kept forgetting to lock rotation on these things as they did their work, and they would swing around and hack everything up and do a bunch of really silly stuff. So got a few cactus going and the other fun stuff. So the other thing I've been doing, and as I get a chance, I have been taking a cobalt camera, which is basically a shear or a thing or whatever that is repairable, and I've already kind of upgraded it. I had to put the Silk Touch upgrade on it so that it would actually do the work correctly, because camas normally will just harvest leaves, and then waiting until these rubber trees all kind of grow up, and then jump down one of these holes and just saw the top down off of all of the things in here. See if I can get out of here so we can actually take a look at it. Ow. I gotta let them grow a little bit more. We just restarted the world a little bit ago, and I now have around, well, 1,717 leaves. The leaf problem is where it gets really kind of ugly. I believe the number was something on the label of 36 leaves per end all be all. So 36 leaves go into one of those things. If you're lucky and you don't have a fail happen here. So that's going to be the problem. That's going to be the hard part, and that's going to be something we may or may not automate depending on how much of that biofuel we're actually going to need. So that's kind of the stuff I was going to say. We're starting to look at this chapter up here. So it's going to have us do this, and it's going to have us do this. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to leave this alone. We'll automate it when the time comes, just understanding the fact that I am farming the stuff behind this so that we can do things about it. Today what I want to do is I want to play in here and maybe get over into here because there's some very interesting things to do. Also, I went ahead and set up a couple of new automations. I went ahead and put the large crafter back in. I have a crafting process down here now for the sturdy sheets. Essentially, all we do is we take some obsidian, we throw it in that crusher, we bring the obsidian dust, we drop it down in here again. If you pour lava and you pour lava on obsidian dust and smash it twice, it will go around in a circle until it becomes the sturdy sheet. There's also been a slight amount of change. I've moved the lava up into the ceiling further. It just cleaned it up. I got tired of the stuff hanging out from underneath of us. And if you notice, one of the loudest things up here is gone. I finally moved it where I wanted it. And that is, we now have two boilers sitting in a kind of a boiler room over there. That is going to be their permanent location. If we need to make more boilers, we'll make more boilers over there. One thing I did learn, and this is definitely a did learn about lakes, especially if you're planning on building a lava lake. The pump, the hose pulley thingy there, it has to be at the lowest portion of your tank in order to count as a infinite lava source. The lowest portion there is right in there. I would jump in there and show you, but we'd die. I'd have to go in a spectator. Right there in the bottom, there was a little cave that kind of wandered through that area, and there's a spot down there that's really, really, really deep. You have to get to the lowest, or at least the lowest recorded area where it thinks it's going to be an infinite lava pool in order to work. So I had to bring that all the way the heck over there, dropped it in, and made a bunch of things. So we can go down there and look at this really quickly. All I did, and I found these really cool things, these catwalks. They're kind of a pain in the butt to use, but they're not terribly expensive, at least not at this point in time. I've got so much iron I don't know what to do with. And then they have configurable, and I don't even know where I put my wrench. I think it's either over there or whatever. But you can right-click on there's a wrench that goes with these. You can right-click on the railing to make them go away. They come with covered ladders. They come with little walkways. The catwalk will automatically turn into stairs depending on how you place things down. So we now have a kind of a reasonably decent power plant, or at least what I would consider a power plant. It's something that I can say is okay. The system, again, does the normal thing. We're pumping lava out of that long pipe across there. So that one over there is taking care of all of the draw out of the bottom of that lake. And I hope I don't see any missing things over here. Like I said, it was trying to eat some of the edge off back over there. The lake never got all the way back underneath the base like I wanted. It kind of ended up over there before it said it was, done. And since it's full, you can't really fix the problem anymore. So anyhow, we're just kind of pulling things around, but I kind of like it. It looks pretty good. I went and found a little bit of glowstone to put down, and there's these little guys, those cage lamps. They're a little expensive, but they look good. A little expensive in the fact that they take glowstone right now, which we don't have a massive amount of, but they kind of look pretty good. Did a little bit of work over here, made it so we have a little bit of a walk path over to there, and of course the same old deal. 5 pumps trying to keep water in these boilers. And a single pump on the back, or a single engine on the back. This is capable of running 9 engines. So I'm dedicating 2 engines out of the 18 total that we can run right now, just to make sure that these water pumps on both sides are run as fast as they possibly can, to make sure we get as much water in that boiler as they possibly can. So I think you could easily, this has the ability to do 16,000. So theoretically I could take one of these and put it on the back of it over on one of these other ones, because we have 10 pumps all running at, 1,000. So theoretically we're only using 10,000 stress units for that. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit back here, but that's fine. That way we know we have enough power, and that's all that one's ever going to do is that. So we should be good to go on these parts. Everything seems to be functional. I ran it up through the top of the, or just ran a connector over to the edge of the line over here, and then we went ahead and hooked everything up so that we have all the power that we need. So we can take the ladder back up this time. I think these ladders are a little faster. I like these. They're kind of neat. But we now have a speed controller in the corner over here running at 128. I think that's where we're going to stay right now. I need to do a little bit of tuning on the precision mechanism line or crafter, because I think those tend to like to be made a little bit slower than some of the other things. But currently we have almost 200,000 stress units, and I'm happy with that for now. And we have a new production line over here taking care of some other stuff. So let's run down here very quickly. Alright, so I decided we needed to be able to make a bunch of obsidian, so I went ahead and made an obsidian generator, and it is currently full, at least at this point. Let's have us a snack and we can talk about this one. This is the difference between a obsidian generator and a cobblestone generator. If you were to take this and place it over here, you know, place it so that the water can be placed next to things, you'll make cobblestone. You can waterlog these as well if you want to, and they'll make cobblestone as they need to make cobblestone, but there's a kind of a little funky thing that needs to happen. If you want to make obsidian using this system, you need to use stone brick stairs that have been waterlogged with the back facing to the obsidian. The reason why the back needs to be faced towards the obsidian is just like that. Notice the water doesn't flow backwards. If the water is allowed to flow backwards, it will make cobblestone. So you have to kind of pay attention to which way you do things. Apparently we needed some more obsidian. I don't know why this is running. Oh yeah, because I told it to. But anyhow, it's going to be a very slow process. That's why we have 4 of them working, and they're running at a reasonable pace. Again, it's clutched up, so all this little stockpile switch has to do is tell that to turn on and off when it needs to turn on and off. And then that'll turn we'll turn the entire machine off here. We're feeding dual lines of lava over here now, so I have a line just specifically for this and anything else that needs to happen on this line, and then we have lava again coming in over here. Okay, I think all of that being said, we should be able to do a few things. Oh yeah, and I went ahead and got made a basic tank unit. Because they're not all that expensive now that we can make these basic storage units. You just add a couple of empty cells and some rubber, and then you get a thing that can hold 128 buckets. So I went over and dug up a bunch of shimmer and brought it over here for us to be able to use whenever we want to use it or need it. So today, yes, I know, today, ramble. Today, we're going to go ahead and see about trying to get some of this section unlocked, and that is going to start with this kind of thing here. Copper connector, those shouldn't be too terribly hard to make, and again, copper wire, which I've made this I don't know how many times already. So let's go ahead, get a couple of those things going, and then we're just going to kind of knock through some of this stuff. I kind of, like I said, want to see how much we can unlock, because there's some things over here I really want. Especially up here. So let's see what we can do. Let's start opening up these little quest lines. Alright, let's start with a few parts here. So you want me to make a spool full of this stuff, so we'll go ahead and just make those 6 since I already had the copper spool or the spool thingy for it. And a couple of these. So we need slime balls and andesite alloys. Let's see, andesite alloy, and we should have the slime balls in this chest. I need to go ahead and break you down and make you do the other crafting table thingy, but anyhow, that's fine. We can just do this. That'll get us this. I have andesite alloy. Did I not grab it? How did I not grab it? That's andesite alloy. I didn't put it in the thing. Those chests, holy cow. Okay, and then a couple of those. Go ahead and make a few of these. We'll make like 16 of them just in case, and then we'll pick all that stuff up and put this away. So these act like the immersive engineering connectors, or they act like the, I would say immersive engineering or magnetic craft, the way that it used to be. I think they're about that far to go between each other. Essentially, you do the same thing. There to there, and then they just run a wire, and that's just basically long distance traveling between things. It's not awful. I know that I don't think they burn. I don't know. I've not used them very much. I was playing around with them in one of the other packs that I've played recently. They seem to be very functional, but like right there, as you can see, one of the things that happens when you use a spool and then you break the thing, the wire falls off the spool. So that's a kind of a pain in the tail. Anyhow, I don't know, again, how much we're going to be using these unless they're a crafting component. I'm not planning on using the motors, mainly because of the fact that all of our work is going to be done off of line shafts and belts because I don't lose the power that way. If we have to, we will use other things. So like maybe we'll be using the alternator to drag, or power off the alternator to drag it from various locations to here, but that should get us the book for Tech Reborn. Lovely, 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 lovely. Tech Reborn insulated cables can also transfer energy, but are much more ugly. They're probably a little bit more of a pain in the tail to use as well. So what do you want to do here? We'll click on this button. These have no durability but are enchantable and require power. We all know that stuff. We're probably going to get into some of these fairly soon, maybe a drill or a jackhammer. I don't know yet. I know there's a lot of things that we can do. Oh yeah, and then we need to check this out so that they can understand. I understand how to make this stuff work. I'll take your free parts. All right, let's look down underneath all of this stuff. So that should give us the ability to make an extractor, of which I don't need right now. A grinder, I think, is probably the direction I want to go at this point. So let's look at a grinder, see if we can't make a grinder going on right now. I think I have all of those parts sitting right here except for a couple diamonds. 1 second. And it is now time to make sure this is in my inventory at all times. I'm not going to waste one of these things right now to find out whether or not they break when you pick them up. So that's one of my least favorite things about IC2, and I know that's a toggleable thing in in Tech Reborn. So let's see. This is grinding like a millstone. So we just need sturdy sheets, integrated circuits, diamonds, one basic machine frame, and a millstone. We have one of these. We have a few of those. I've got plenty of sturdy sheets now. There should be a millstone in one of these boxes. There it is. Is that everything I need? Yes. Nice. First magic block machine. Hooray. Now, again, when you're playing with these things, always pick them up with their wrench. You used to be able to know. Yeah, you used to be able to know. Don't, I think it says that right there. How long it takes? Yeah, don't do that. Even with a silk touch, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's hook this guy up. Shoot, where am I going to put you, fella? Why is this not running? Right. I changed things around. Let's, where's that alternator? Where's the wire we just got? Or even better yet, we'll just use some of this insulated copper wire, and we'll take this over here, and we'll start maybe thinking about doing some of these over here. I don't know exactly what I want to do with this right now, so I think we'll probably... I think there's a spot right down here somewhere I can get a hold of it. Let me think. I guess I could just place it right here for a test, right? Nice, okay. So if I put you behind there, will you get power? All right, cool. Now, grinders are going to let us do a bunch of stuff. Where's the recipe button? I thought you could click on a recipe in here. Grinder. Grinder can take a lot of things, turn a lot of things into a lot of stuff. The interesting thing that I'm the most interested in a grinder is gunpowder and kelp, which means I'm going to have to start doing the kelp farm fairly soon. What else can you do that we can make you usable out of for? So yeah, basically all I'm going to be looking at right now as far as this is concerned is going to be that recipe so that we can get a reasonable source of gunpowder. Later on, gunpowder is going to be pretty important to us, so let's see here. I want you to... I'm going to have to build a power section for this thing. I think these are probably, we're going to have like a little block wall of all of the one block wonder blocks over here very soon, so let's see. Let's make a little bitty spot for them to sit. Sure. And then we'll place the first one right there. A lot of this is just going to be hand tools for us. And then I can go ahead and do insulated cabling, kind of something like so. And then we're going to build a few more machines, and I'm going to have to power this thing somehow. So probably something like that. Okay. I can make that work. And then we just do this. ceiling. Other wrench. Of course, it's going to end up being wonky. That's fine. Make another one. Then we need to get you hooked up and then you hooked over to there for now. Okay. Probably be better off just to hook up behind here, but for now, that's fine. We need to be able to have power. We need to be able to do some stuff. Cool. Next block. What's the next block we get to have as far as fun things? So that's gunpowder, hate sandpaper. What else did you use diamonds for? I'm not going to ever bother to make that, and of course, we can grind up a bunch of these. That's the biggest thing about a lot of this is grind this, grind that, make this piece. You're not really advancing through anything, but that does at least get us down here to where we can do coal dust, which is awesome. Next step, the compressor. If I can get over, like I said, over to here, we can get a few more things done. So a compressor is going to require me to make another mechanical press. Do I have one? I might have a few. I made a bunch of leftover stuff. There's a whole bunch of these. There's another basic machine frame. I knew I had a few of these laying around. No, I just have deployers. Okay. Let me make one of these real quick. I need a shaft and I need a block of iron. Okay. And mechanical press. Ding. And then the compressor should be just this. Requires a bunch of those. No, not that one. This one. Alright, nice. Max energy. Cool. Compressor. Amazing. Singularity impending. I don't want to know what that means. Dash tough handle. Nice, thank you. You can just go in there. That's fine. That's what that's for. So, now we have a compressor we can play with. Compressor, once again, can do various things. So, this is how we're going to be able to make rocket fins. We can take and turn things into the plates, which it's kind of expensive to do plates, I suppose. This way, it's not that terrible. Just requires power, obsidian. Well, it's mainly just plates and compressed air cells and being able to put that many blaze rods back together to make things. Plus, it's going to be able to make us the compressed plant balls into other stuff. So, click here. That should allow us to get what we're going to have to do a bunch of things this direction, which will allow us to get to here. There is no way I'm bother wasting my time on these. We don't need them. What do you need for here? Depresses molten electrum bucket. Tesla coil. Right, we need to make a Tesla coil real quick so that I can do some charging here because this is kind of where I want to go very shortly. We're going to have a little bit of fun. So I need a couple of capacitors, so a bunch of iron sheets and some stuff. Give me a minute, I got to make some parts. Copper cable, standard machine casing, which I should have at least one of those still. Some copper cabling, some dash gear, and I noticed, is he here? Where are you, buddy? Somehow he wandered in from somewhere, and he likes to stand on top of that machine, or he likes to stand up there. He came all the way from over to the other side, so I just kind of leave him alone. Little pig, silly fool. 2 copper wires. Where did I put those? Cool, good, go, click. Tesla coil. Nice. Now, this is the first part where this becomes a bit of a problem. This thing, as far as I recall, requires RF to, well, RF, FE, a tick, or whatever, to work. Let me see if I can get this to place where I can see the back of it. What the heck did it do? Interesting. Far as I know, this requires energy, so in order to make this work, it has to get plugged into something like this. Right? Oop, nope. Hang it. I think. It's been a minute. I'll have to play with it. Either way, what we're going to do with this is we're going to be building a secondary location probably right around here for this thing. Tesla coils are going to be how we're going to make a few interesting fluids. Namely, we have to take a dash bucket and turn it into a electrum bucket. This is how you're going to be able to make calorite. Calorite, I believe, is just going to be a plate for later on in at Astra. And this is how we can synthesize and create redstone. Now, this is an interesting little process that we will probably likely get into in a future episode because of the fact that this is just glass and red dye. And a red dye we can do all day long with the old fancy little rosebush trick. I think I can actually really produce a fair amount of red dye doing that whole trick again too. So there are ways of being able to make it work. There's also a way of automating it through sweet berries, and I do have sweet berries. It's just that I'd have to get an extractor of which we can make, but it takes quite a few. I mean, it is what it is on that point of it. I can get 4 out of this to do that kind of deal. And the rose bushes, we can get those all day long. So we can theoretically automate redstone if we need to, because of the fact that I'm kind of not really happy with the amount of redstone that we've currently recovered at this point in time. So one more machine. Can we get another one going before we end this episode? Probably not. It's going to want me to make an extractor. What is this one? This is the wire mill. I think this is just an extractor. So let's see about that. I need some wood. I only have a few pieces of wood. Let me get some more wood. We'll make that real quick and then we can end it. Okay, extractor. Extractor is going to require 2 tree taps, which means I need the sticks that are in here. Let's just go ahead and do this. Running out of room in my inventory. Put away things you don't need. Thank you. Alright, extractor. 4 of those. 1. And that is an extractor. Now what this does is it gets the, well, it's the best way to extract certain things from certain things, so we'll probably have to make one of them eventually because it's a good way of getting dye and things out of it, but I do believe that the next step up is a wire mill. That's cool. We can use the, well, I think I can use a grinder or whatever, but I do want this because this wire mill will allow you to produce various things in a little bit better fashion. So it's 2 into 6 instead of 1 into 2, I believe. It's 1 into 2, so it's you get 3 per each instead of 2, which again just saves on some of this stuff that we're going to be playing with as we go on. So let's see. Yeah, wire mill. What do you need for that? You need the mill that's over there. Give me the mill. Now this might be the first time we're going to have a problem with things, and I may end up changing this out. Give me you. You want the wire? No, I already did that. What are we doing? Extractor? Wire mill. That one. What are you short? Mechanical piston. How I make. How I make. Why am I not in the right inventory? Hit on that so you know what it is. This is that. One of those, please. And then here to there we need a slab. Yeah, I know. We're making things happen today. Very cool. Mechanical piston, first one I've made so far here, and then that should get us a wire mill. Now, again, that's probably just going to live right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just use it right here. So if I say I want, well, I think I still have to use like this. That'll make a plate. Slowly but surely it'll make a plate. Which we might end up looking at making machine upgrades. Range extender, all the fun things. Quarry. Hang on a minute. Do I have a quarry? Oh. Well, hello, friend. I see this coming in our near future. Steel plates, advanced integrated circuits. Yes. Very nice. Excellent. Cool. That means I can stop using that other thing. But anyhow, that gets you the general idea of copper plates. Those should go across everything else. I'll probably just put that rolling machine back in here because it works just perfectly fine. But I think for now, we'll just stop there. I have all of the machines I need in order to be able to do some fun things. And again, this is just going to be able to allow us to do a little bit more stuff. Just in time for Test Coil as being a new creative edition. We're probably going to play with this a little bit in the next episode, because that Tesla coil, again, is a way we can automate redstone, and I really probably should get onto automating redstone, and then we can work our way down through here. So whatever this is going to take, I think we'll probably try to finish this and then start down this path next time. So till then, guys, I'll see you all. I know it's kind of all over the place, and I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm just trying to get to the point where I can do a little bit of off-camera work and have a little bit of time doing it instead of sitting here playing around doing the fun stuff. I know I can be decorating, but I want machines to play with. So see y'all later. Bye.